underlying challenge with these teams. Their point guards can't shoot.
It was almost like a bracket full of the diaper dandies.
CMS is using its stick, not its carrot. And I really
this is a tough one because it's like asking me to choose between my children.
It wouldn't be a March Healthcare Classic if we didn't have some close matchups. Dan, what do you think?
It would shock me if everyone listening to this isn't checking with ChatGPT before they go into their doctor.
Their point guards can't shoot. They can't rebound. And in the end, I just don't think that this is where we should be putting our money. I've got my entire salary and basically, the entire budget of my nonprofit on employers rewriting the benefits playbook. I get Dan's perspective that this may not be happening. I will admit that this is one of those teams that, we keep thinking it's a sleeping giant. It keeps underperforming. But I think this might be the year. And certainly I'm going to do everything I can. And honestly, if I get this one wrong, I'm not sure that I'm going to win. I'm not sure I'm going to do well in today's tournament.
CMS is using its stick, not its carrot. And I really like that. I think that we're going to beat some reform into the market. I think we've been talking about this for a decade and a half. And just like employers, I think consumers are frustrated. I think consumers need a way to emerge victorious. So I think, if I have to pick my favorite seed, it's probably going to be around price transparency enforcement, and that being linked to consumerism and how consumers drive new demand and new transformation.
You get first swing of the bat here. Now I'm working baseball and basketball at the same time.
I like that number 3 seed. I think the other is, if you look at hospital at home and the workforce, this was one of those, I could see this going either way. I think you need both. I know that's kind of cheating.
I think the 7th seed is a real sleeper we got to keep an eye on. The number 1 seed with AI becoming new clinical infrastructure. I think that's the one that's gonna make a lot of progress.
So I loved a lot of the comments so far, and I really also, like Michael's, loved seeing cyber in there. Cyber is, to me, one of the most important aspects of what we're likely to see happening. Look, I'm going all in on this, on margin pressure.
I think demographics are destiny. The aging demand crunch is real.
Now, I hope to come back at some point in the future and have this debate again and lose to Sean.
I like the number 1 seed. If an employer is complaining about a 10% increase but doesn't want to take the time to go figure out how to design benefits, they deserve that 10% price increase. I'm sorry. I'm an employer.
That's
I'm
well
deeply
said.
involved in benefit design.
Yeah, I'm with you.
When my power bill goes up 20%, I go figure out what I need to turn off. Employers can't sit by passively and blame the carriers or the bukas.
And this was the part of the bracket that I would say was almost like a bracket full of the diaper dandies. A lot of themes that are sort of yet to fully come to fruition and realize its full potential, whether it's employers or consumerism. These themes have been around. I do think this one's primed for an upset. RX cost control, absolutely. Drug costs are a huge dynamic. But I've still got to say MA and the rebalancing of benefits, and sounds like it showed up well last year. I think it's still a force.
VBC, I think, entered its value base, entered its prove-it era, failed its prove-it era, and honestly, I would take it out of the tournament. I think it should be relegated to the NIT.
This is a tough one because it's like asking me to choose between my children. I got to agree with Michael. I think for this year, chronic care and kind of digitization of chronic care and kind of bringing that into the system is probably what ends up going the distance, particularly given how focused the administration is on it.
I will say for most employers, they're looking at this as like the sword of Damocles, right? Like when the cell and gene therapy boom happens, and I think it will crush the way that we pay for drugs in the United States right now.
We've all made our bracket choices in the NCAA and the NIT. And now for the 6th year running, it's time to make your bracket choices in the RO3 March Healthcare Classic.